So are you buying a second home here on Smith Lake? Well, before you jump in, let me save you from making a $500,000 mistake, because it does happen. Hey, I'm Jacob Sanders, your local Smith Lake Realtor. And look, if you've thought about buying or selling here on the lake, don't do anything without calling me first. I want to be your go-to for all things Smith Lake real estate and your complete 100% resource for Smith Lake. Hey, are you looking to buy a second home here on Smith Lake? Maybe a family getaway, maybe an Airbnb or VRBO to help pay for the costs, or maybe just an excuse to help buy that boat that you've been daydreaming about. Hey, I'm Jacob Sanders, the best realtor on Smith Lake, well, at least according to my mom. And today we're talking about tips on buying a second home here on Smith Lake. So let's jump right in. So why buy a second home here? Well, Smith Lake is a perfect choice for a second home because it gives you both a vacation spot for your family and rental potential when you're not using it. So think about it. You get to enjoy the weekends on the water, and when you head back to the city, somebody else is going to be paying you to borrow your deck for their barbecue. That's not a bad trade. So what makes a good second home on Smith Lake? Not every lake home makes a good second home, but here's what to look for. The size, which is going to be a sweet spot of 3 to 5 bedrooms. It's big enough for family gatherings and small enough to manage. Also year-round water access. Some homes look great in the summer, but sit high and dry in the winter when the water levels drop. Also your dock rights. Alabama Power does manage much of the shoreline, so make sure your property can have a dock. Also the location. You want to be close to the marinas, restaurants, and an easy drive to groceries. And trust me, you don't want to realize that you're 45 minutes away from the nearest grocery store and you need another gallon of milk because the kids are already on their third bowl of cereal. You also want to look at rental potential. Smith Lake has a strong demand for weekend rentals. A lot of times it's just families, friend groups, or even folks from Birmingham or Huntsville just looking to escape for a few days. Airbnb, VRBO, and other platforms make it easy to keep the house booked. And with more people choosing lake getaways over crowded beaches, pretty much the occupancy has stayed pretty solid. And hey, the best part, you're basically letting strangers pay down your mortgage while you're at home bragging about your investment property. It's a pretty sweet deal. Now also property management. Now, unless you plan on driving back here every time the toilet clogs, you're probably going to want to get a property manager. So property management companies can handle bookings, cleanings, maintenance, and even licenses and tax reporting. The typical fees, they're usually going to be around 20% of bookings plus maybe a monthly fee, but for peace of mind, when you're out of town, it's really worth it. All right, now let's talk mistakes, because I've seen people make them and they can cost you big. Now, ignoring your dock rights. So without them, you're basically buying a lake home with no lake access. Another thing is buying too far out. Sure, the price looks good, but the renters want easy access to the main coves, marinas, and the restaurants. Also, if you hire a bad management company, the wrong property management can sink your rental faster than a leaky boat. The other thing is buying for the wrong reason. A Smith Lake second home is perfect if you'll use it and rent it out correctly. But if you only want pure investment play, a long-term rental elsewhere might be just a little bit better. Now look, don't let your dream home become your neighbor's nightmare rental, or worse, even a money pit that you might regret. So whether you're choosing for family, fun, rental income, or a mix of both, the key is choosing the right property and planning ahead. So if you're ready to start your search, give me a call. My number is 205-369-2803. You could also visit my website at jacobsandershomes.com. Give me a call. I'd love to be able to help you start your search. And look, don't forget to like this video and subscribe, and give me a comment below. What's your favorite part of Smith Lake that you like to invest in? We'll see you on the water.